Thanks for filming.
Bye. Couple more. There's another seat right, that seat's empty right there. There's another seat that's empty right there. So 4 more people,
Okay,
5 more
after these
people.
two. Okay, we've got room for a couple more still.
There's an reliable.
Yeah, no, I know.
Need to get off the...
I'm Betsy Williams.
You guys get off the road, it'd be
And,
good. They're asking people to not be on the road.
I live in Westminster West,
All right, thanks.
and I'm part of an affinity group here today. We're one of a number of affinity groups, and we're here to remember what happened in Fukushima a year ago, and to be reminded that the reactor here in Vernon, Vermont, is the same type of reactor as melted down in Fukushima. And I think it's important for people to be aware of that and to remember that, to honor the people in Japan, to remember the victims in Japan, and to continue to have our voices heard about what makes sense for us and for the future of our state and for our region. And so we're among a number of affinity groups here walking today from Vernon to Brattleboro to remember a year ago.
People, and we are singing, singing for our lives.
Anti-nuclear.
We are an anti-nuclear people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are an anti-nuclear people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. singing, singing for our love.
Song sheets? Got a song sheets. Who needs song sheets? Oh, the little ones.
And the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah, yeah. 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 Heaven knows where we are going.
Car.
But we know we will, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows when we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah, yeah. 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 Going.
This is nice. So far. You know, but need a break. Yeah,
They really were just dying to figure out what identity worked for them.
My everyone. One house where there's a kitchen you actually cook together and have so you don't feel. Always remember that. You know, a shower and have to sign up when they're going to shower.
Student just said it.
Yep.
Well endowed in the right place. Is it a regular German word too, or just I just know it from Yiddish? I know it from Yiddish too.
I saw you in Montpelier. I was like, you must have come here.
Oh, you saw me?
Yeah.
be carrying red flags.
To alert the oncoming traffic.
To alert the oncoming traffic.
They will set the pace.
They will set the pace.
And they will make sure no one falls behind. Please stay between these two people.
Please stay between these two people.
Walkers will proceed in a single file.
Walkers will proceed in a single file.
Facing oncoming traffic.
Facing oncoming traffic.
Walkers will stay out of the travel lane.
Walkers will stay out of the travel lane.
To the left of the white line.
To the left of the white line.
This issue cannot be overstated.
This issue cannot be overstated.
Stops for rest should happen at rest areas or pull-offs. Do not block people's driveways, please. When crossing the road, please wait for instructions for the whole group.
Please wait for instructions for the whole group.
Walkers will refrain from use or possession of drugs or alcohol. This is the final point. This walk is being conducted in a spirit of nonviolence. In respect to both speech and action. Along the way, our interactions with other people should be cheerful, respectful, and positive. If we are harassed, or physically attacked, we will remain calm and not respond in kind. There is a support vehicle. There are two support vehicles. That have some water and snacks in them if people need that.
Have some water, snacks in them if people need that.
If you are in need of a ride,
Talk to a peacekeeper, and they will find you one. When we get down to the town offices, there will be a release of biodegradable balloons. The balloons will say on them, this was released at Vermont Yankee. If you find it, please call this number.
it's time to start walking.
Next time you're there, knock on the guard. Call by account.
Oh, look.
Oh, there they go.
Right
Oh,
to
yes.
Yeah.
I know it.
On the scene. Bouncing. Yeah.
You might say, well, my personal health effects are nothing serious. Why should this be a problem? But you could be, you're part of what's creating that, and it's easy to ignore that.
Game off.
Gonna keep on walking never turning back, never turning back. We're gonna shut it down forever. Gonna shut it down forever. Gonna shut it down forever. Never turning back. Never turning back.
Think about our children.
Think about our children.
Gonna think
about our children.
Keep on walking proudly.
Keep on walking proudly. Keep on walking proudly. Keep on walking
scalp is healed. All right. Hey, thanks a lot. let me try it up here a little bit. It's time I was standing my ground, so I'm joining that great occupation, and we're shutting that power plant down. What are we doing? We're shutting that power plant down, my friends. We're shutting that power plant down. I'm joining that great occupation, and we're shutting that power plant down. Now Vernon, Vermont is a swell town, and it's there that we're taking our stand. Don't sit home and wait for a meltdown. Come fight for your freedom and land. Come fight for your freedom and land, my friends. Come fight for your freedom and land. Don't sit home and wait for a meltdown. Come fight for your freedom and land. Now Seabrook was just the beginning. We soon had the nukes on the run. It's a fight the people are winning. A fight for our place in the sun. Well, how about, let's see. Shut Vermont Yankee down. We shall not be moved. Let's shut Vermont Yankee down. We shall not be moved just like a tree that's standing by the water. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved just like a tree that's standing by the water. We shall not be moved. We want people's power. We shall not be moved. We want people's power. We shall not be moved just like the tree that's standing by the water. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved just like a tree that's standing by the water. We shall not be moved. Let's shut the nukes forever. We shall not be moved. Let's shut the nukes forever. We shall not be moved just like a tree that's standing by the water. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved just like a tree that's standing by the water. We shall not be moved. Anybody have a verse? We shall not be moved. We want people's power. We shall not be moved just like the tree that's standing by the water. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved just like a tree that's standing by the water. Let's shut the nukes forever. We shall not be moved. Let's shut the nukes forever. We shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's standing by the water. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's standing by the water. We shall not be moved.
And I think Bush must have
Better local cases where corporate bustle is basically what they want is democratic process. So when you're first drawing, how do you similarly set up so that your and then you get a central cabin?
Hello. So I'm evacuating from Vernon Nuclear. I'm within the 12-mile radius. In fact, I live just 5 miles down the stream. Most of the cars ran out of gas, but this is a fuel-efficient car, so I'm able to evacuate with my little smart car, fuel-efficient. I have my bag here. I have a sleeping bag, shovel and saw, and a gas can, and my milk goat's in the back.
Do you have milk goats?
You need a milk goat to survive. So
Where
yes,
is she?
it's in the back. It's in the back. But no, I'm part of this is a mock evacuation.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it won't happen.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have to put pressure on Vermont Yankee to shut down because we don't want to evacuate. There's been enough accidents that we don't need any more. We don't want any more. Okay.
Going over here.
Hi, I'm Arnie Gunderson down from Burlington. What a turnout here. I'm here to talk about Vermont Yankee and how it's almost identical to Fukushima and how I believe every Mark I in the country should be shut down.
I had to read the introduction to Arnie because he has done so much. Arnie Gunderson has 40 years of nuclear power engineering experience. He is a former nuclear industry senior vice president who earned his bachelor and master's degrees in nuclear engineering from RPI, holds a nuclear safety patent, and was a licensed reactor operator. During his career, Mr. Gunderson managed and coordinated projects at 70 nuclear power plants in the United States. Currently, Mr. Gunderson is the chief engineer and an expert witness for Fair Winds Associates, a paralegal services and expert witness firm founded in 2003 by its president, Maggie Gunderson. It is a paralegal services and expert witness firm that analyzes nuclear engineering issues in the U.S., Canada, and overseas. Arnie Gunderson joined Maggie full-time in 2008. The same year, she also founded Fair Winds Energy Education, a 501c3 nonprofit with a mission to educate the public about nuclear power engineering, reliability, and safety issues. Mr. Gunderson also speaks on television, radio, and at public meetings regarding the lack of adherence around the world to important nuclear safety regulations as his role as a director with the nonprofit Fair Winds Energy Education, founded by Mrs. Gunderson in 2008. Mrs. Gunderson could not join us today due to a car accident caused by another driver and resulting concussion. Mrs. Gunderson is a mediator, paralegal, and journalist. Mrs. Gunderson also has a background in the nuclear industry, in reload, core design, and nuclear public relations, where she held a site PR position similar to that of Entergy's Rob Williams or Larry Smith. On a personal note, I have found Arnie Gunderson to be a man not only of wide and deep knowledge and experience, but immense compassion. I think one of the most compassionate things that he has done has made these fabulous videos for people like me who don't really understand science. As a high school teacher, he has figured out how to take very complex concepts and put them into simple English. And I urge you all, or at least all of you science idiots like me, to go and watch his videos on his website, such as How Does a Nuclear Power Plant Work? And so without further ado, Arnie Gunderson.
Thank you. And Maggie says hello, and yeah, she got a concussion by being rear-ended while she was stopped at a traffic light. It's just better if she spent the day resting as opposed to riding. How's it sound? Is that okay? Getting it over here too. These guys
This is the one that you're talking to the room with.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Talking to the
Oh, I'll just move over
the
here.
rest of the world.
That's the rest of the world. Thank you for having me, and thank you for your walk today. I hope it sends a message that Vermont Yankee should be shut down. That's not the recommendation of an activist. I'm on record as an expert witness saying that all these Mark I's should be shut down. Matter of fact, Maggie and I were walking about 11 months ago, 12 months ago, right before the accident. And Maggie said, right before Fukushima, and she said, "Where do you think the next accident's going to be?" And I said, "I don't know where it's going to be, but I know it's going to be at a Mark I." And 2 weeks later, there was Fukushima. And just about this time, exactly a year ago, I was absolutely sure there was a meltdown in progress at Fukushima. And of course, you know, Secretary Chu and the administration in the NRC told people for weeks that it hadn't even risen to the threshold of Fukushima, of Chernobyl rather. So, with that in mind, when I saw that happen, I was an expert on 3 Mile Island, and I saw real serious personal injuries that were totally blown over by the nuclear industry and the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. And I told myself, I'm going to dedicate my life to make sure that Fukushima doesn't get covered up like 3 Mile Island and Chernobyl did. And that's really why we started the website. You know, Maggie had been asking me for years, well, you know, you're pretty good at talking on TV. Why don't you do the web? And I said, nobody wants to listen to me. But what happened was I got called on CNN and a couple other shows, and they would give me 7 minutes, which by television time is a lot of time, and it just wasn't enough. So I said, okay, you win, let's do videos. So, so far, we think, we know at least 8 million people have watched those videos, so in a year. So they're making an impact. So my wife's the brains, but I just happen to be really good at looking at a television camera and talking. So that seems to be my piece in the organization. But with that in mind, I do have a PowerPoint today that I wanted to shoot through, and I'll try to hold it to about half an hour. And if you have questions, let's put them off until the very end of it, and gladly take some questions. And then there's one other speaker. So we're ready.
And just a little reminder that it takes green to turn green. So this is the bag that went around before, and we're going to have it over at the table where Laurel and Leo are. Leo's got it, and Laurel there also has lots of information about what's going on between now and March 22nd and on March 22nd. And if you don't know what March 22nd is, please go talk to Laurel. So thank you all very much for coming out today. Anybody who feels like hanging out to help clean up, we'd really appreciate it. And I'm sure that we will see each other on the streets, in the courtrooms, in front of the State House, and in places of learning like this again. Thank you very much.
Loss of UHS, ultimate heat sink.
No, I've seen it. Bus 2, bus something.
I don't know that one.
No.
Loss of bus. No.
Or something, some problem with. It's in the SAMAs. It's in the.
In the SAMAs.
Yeah.
I don't know what that one is.
Yeah, it's like bus 2, bus something.
Oh well, the electrical buses.
Yeah. What is that?
A bus is like a switch box.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, but I don't know. I've never heard of that term. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Arnie, one
Hi, you're
point.
taking notes here.
I'm Olga.
Hey, Olga, how are you? I thought that was you in the back there.
Could I just correct one thing really quickly? The reason that shad aren't getting up into Vermont is not entirely a thermal issue at all. They're being sent into the Turners Falls Power Canal. There's no water left in the Connecticut River.
I have a thing from Dean though, and Dean was saying.
Dean and I, we used to work together at the water.
Okay, so you disagree with him.
Oh, I absolutely disagree with them, and it really is an issue of there's actually no Connecticut River for 2 miles alongside the Turners Falls Canal. They're put in the power canal where the turbines are slicing them to bits and they can't get out. Now, I have no problem with the fact that thermal is an issue for shad moving upstream, but until there's fish passage, it's not a problem.
So why don't they straighten it out?
I've been working on it. Personally, I've been working on it. You know, maybe I'll send you an email. So I just want to disabuse you of the fact thermal, yes, absolutely does Shad stop migrating at a certain point, but they cannot get past it. There is
past the
no
dam.
real fish passage at Turner's Falls, and that's the problem. And then you can prove it.
You know what I'm saying to myself? My God, it's light out. and
I'm
it's almost
sorry, and
7
I know
o'clock.
you're very
I have
tired.
to
I
go.
just
Yeah, but
wanted
Olga
to-
needs me for a minute. Yeah.
I do, but I could also talk to you tomorrow. if
I
that's
teach tomorrow, and
Okay.
I'm on Amy Goodman tomorrow, so that's not going to happen.
So I'll try to be fast.
Yeah.
You talk about secrets are in the assumptions.
Say again?
Secrets are in the assumptions.
Yeah.
So what are some of the assumptions that Vermont Yankees working on that people should be questioned? Or Entergy's operating.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
easier.
yeah. No, I was talking about in the accident analysis, and they all make the same assumptions about these uniform evacuation zones, that the wind blows linearly. They believe the wind, that the evacuation planning requires the wind to blow in a straight line. If the wind starts to loop, right now they would just the downwind segments they pay more attention to, but when you don't have a linear wind and a meandering. The other thing is, in a river valley like this, you get entirely different wind patterns, and that's what happened at 3 Mile Island. It was the people in the river valley that wound up with the cancers. The people on the hills did not get the cancers, so but yet they don't evacuate the river valleys preferentially compared to the hills. They'll just look at these linear plumes. The other thing, in their emergency planning, they chase the plume with cars and they try to figure out what it is. Even the NRC has said that that's an absolute joke. Plume chasing in a car is an exercise in futility. Yeah.
People assume that nuclear is clean, but that's a false assumption, isn't it? When you take everything into consideration, low-level
Well, that's the
radiation.
conclusion I
and the rest
got to, but I get to that conclusion on the accident alone. I don't compare the low-level radiation or any of that. I just get to the chance, if you can lose a country, this is not worth doing. That's really where I get to, yeah.
Make sure you say that tomorrow on Amy Goodman's.
That's one of the topics.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you.
Given that there's 30 years worth of spent nuclear fuel
On the route.
on the route,
There's
at
another
Vermont,
5 or 6 on the ground. Yeah,
Right.
they have 40 years worth of fuel on site, but and Fukushima, the stuff that was in the dry cast at Fukushima survived just fine.
Okay.
So there's a great testimonial to dry cast storage at Fukushima, but it's the stuff that's on the roof that everybody's terrified of. Yeah.
So if folks know this, why is Entergy continuing with keeping it on the road?
Money. Money. It's all about money. It costs a lot of money to take it down, and that comes out of their profits. They don't get to bill us for those dry casts. It comes out of their profits. So if they wait, they make more money this year, and but the risk goes up when that happens. Yeah. Yeah. I'll give you one more question. I gotta go because I gotta get home.
Okay, what is, for folks who couldn't be here today or who are somehow living under a rock and new to the Fukushima accident, what do you think is the key thing they need to understand between Fukushima and BY?
Whatever the differences are, they're at the margin.
Okay.
And this plant has the heart and soul of Fukushima right in it. Yeah. That's the takeaway.
Basically, it's a Rube Goldberg contraption. Have you seen the picture?
I know.
Mark I
Well, I know Dale Breidenbau real well, and he's the guy who first blew the whistle on these years ago. Okay, I gotta go. Okay, thank you.
the nukes for